If you want to learn how to build these retaining walls the right way, here you go. This is what this whole video is about. This is a little demonstration setup we did for our in-person training classes that we host here at Almond HQ, which is still got a long ways to go, but it's getting there. We're talking about, we came out and actually built this. We dug it out, we compacted the subsoils, talked about weak subsoils, when it does that jelly shake thing, how to fix that, all that stuff. We're using a product here called VersaLock. We also build with the Unilock Pisa wall system. But all the principles of retaining wall construction are the same. The first three top principles are one course, fully embedded. So this here, we want it to slope away so we push water away from the retaining wall. This would, when we backfill this first course should be completely buried. And the reason for that is, if my foot were a retaining wall block just sitting on the top edge here of this slope, it can slide down, right, or slide out or move. If I buried my foot in that dirt, then my foot is more stable side to side. But it's the same thing with this retaining wall concept here, or any retaining wall. Bury 10% or minimum 6 inches or the first course of block, always. Then we need it on solid subsoils. Once we dig this out, we compact those subsoils with a jumping jack or beat number 2 and number 57 into the subsoils. The soil can't be wet. It needs to have proper moisture in it. We're going to put down a woven geotextile fabric as we go here. The woven is stronger for tensile strength. Non-woven is not ideal, but I know a lot of people do that. And then we're going to put in a either dense grade base or open graded base. Open grade, check out all the videos we've done on that. But open grade base is where water is going to pass through the stone, and that's just one of the definitions of it. There's no fines, no dust in it. This over here is going to be considered more of a dense grade base, where you've got the fines in it, the dust, like this kind of look here, like I think they call it category 6A up north, and here it's a number 411 or 304. Crush or run, crush and run, whatever. Principle number 1, embedment. Principle number 2, and not in that order necessarily, compacted subsoils and good base. Followed by, I think probably the most important thing, and that's proper drainage, and that's backfilling your entire wall. 12 inches minimum is NCMA spec, National Concrete Masonry Association spec. We aim for about 18 inches of backfill anywhere we go. And as you hog this out, you want to make sure you're getting rid of any organics, and like this is a great example here. Roots, stuff like that, soft soils, even on our backfill. We want to make sure we're smashed, that we're removing all this loose stuff, and we're on firm, virgin, native, hard backfill. So there's no soft spots, no places for settling to occur. We're going to be calculating our elevations based off of what we're retaining. When we backfill, we're going to be, again, sloping away, and ideally on the back of the wall, we're going to slope away as well. That's the ideal situation. Geogrid, stuff like that, that's all per the specification of the job or how it's, you know, required. And all the manufacturers have their own like specification. No, they call it recommendation charts. And so that's going to be based on your surroundings. Now, I get asked a lot about, should we put a pipe in this or not? There's a lot of instances we do not put a pipe in a retaining wall. If it's a commercial job and it specs pipe, you better believe it, because otherwise you're in breach of contract. If you don't follow the spec, that's bad. Okay. Now, this being all open graded stone, and something we talked about at our in-person 2-day training, is if you build this on all clean stone, it is the mindset of Almond, so take it for what it's worth, that we have a pipe in the lowest portion of that, so all the water that would get in there potentially gets drained out. And if you don't believe that that's an issue, and that's one of the downfalls or negative things of open graded stone, you can have, it'll do stuff like this, where this is my septic pipe. It runs out to my septic field here. This is a casing pipe, so it's got the 4-inch PVC in that. But that whole trench is bedded with this number 57 limestone. And it's picking up all the water off this building from that downspout and just stuff that gets in there. And it's been leaching out through there. When it rains, water is going through that 57 like a French drain almost and coming out. So it had been like coming up into the ground and creating a mud spot, all that stuff. And I've dug this out. In the meantime, I got to get it cleaned out some more so that we can, I'm going to actually run a French style drain through here to make sure we pull this out. So I'm not running through all that bedding right to my septic tank and stuff, things that I would worry about there. So that's what happens if you don't drain that bedding and that stone layer. Now, the place looks like a bomb went off, so forgive me here, but that's when you're going to put a pipe in behind your wall. Otherwise, your commercial specs are going to say, and NCMA specs are going to say a pipe should daylight through the wall every 40 feet. That's a standard spec for that. This is, again, kind of an introductory video. There's a lot more to this. We got a retaining wall project coming up. We'll probably do a live build on. Things you can do too, ideally with this, you might use a full piece, a full return corner, so you don't have these grooves. Otherwise, we fill that with sand and a mortar mix. Just depends on the product you're using. You always want your joints, your bond lines to overlap. 1/3 is kind of recommendation. This thing here is a little bit under that, so we'd want to make that change accordingly. All sorts of beautiful capping options, all sorts of really cool stuff you can do with retaining walls. You always want that reveal, you know, that overhang by a little bit. You can use this bullnose product here from Unilock. This ledgestone product looks really nice. We had a bee nest back there that during the build was giving us fits there. That all being said, that's kind of the basic principles of retaining wall construction right out the gate here. I hope that helps. Follow along for more. We're going to do some actual builds here real soon, and drop a comment if you got questions. Check us out at thehardscapeacademy.com to come build these with us in person. A training day of anywhere from 5 to 10 people, and we do paver installs, the whole bit, and we talk principles and construction and pricing and all that for 2 days. It's a really good event here in Columbus, Ohio. And really, it's actually beautiful Fairfield County, Ohio, you know. But that being said, folks, that's it. We'll catch you on the next one.